How will the composition of Parliament and county assemblies respect the principle enshrined in Article 81B of the Constitution that not more than two-thirds of the members of elective public bodies shall be of the same gender? In the answer lies the bone of contention.
That is a very low standard. We should have aimed at 50-50.
A cabinet task force mandated to come up with a procedure for satisfying this requirement found the proposals fronted by women groups earlier as technically impossible, and so it was back to the drawing board for the women, who've come up with two new sets of proposals. One of the proposals is to allocate the additional 80 constituencies to women exclusively through a political party list.
The political parties will be able to take into consideration all these other expectations, geographical, marginalized groups and so on, and then present lists of candidates that would actually be nominated through political parties to fill that gap.
The other proposal seeks to dictate how political parties will nominate candidates that will vie for seats in the National Assembly, in that if the lists of nominees do not meet the two-third threshold, the electoral body would reject them.
The Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission scrutinizes the list of candidates for elective offices nominated by all political parties participating in the elections of the National Assembly, Senate, and County Assembly.
These proposals by the women groups have been drafted into a cabinet memo that will be presented to the cabinet task force for consideration.
If government itself cannot take up those proposals and bring that amendment themselves, we as women members of parliament are ready to take up those amendments and bring them at the proper time to ensure that women's gains are not lost.
The Cabinet Task Force will be looking to come up with a Constitution Amendment Bill that will provide the procedure of enforcing this principle of the Constitution contained in Article 81B.
If at the conclusion of the election, one-third gender principle has not been realized, parties who will have already supplied an irreducible list of preferred persons can then nominate to fill the gaps.
The Election Bill 2010 is one of the most critical to electoral reforms in the country, and one of the issues to be legislated is the requirement that all elective posts meet the two-third gender threshold. Now, with the proposals already on the table on a workable formula, the question now is how workable and how practical are these proposals? Sheila Sendeyo, Citizen TV.